Assalamualaikum and hi, we are from Group 4. Our topic is the factors influencing social media addiction among Uitm Cawangan Melaka, Kampus Bandaraya Melaka students. This is our group members: Nurul Syafiqah binti Bahaman, Nur Fazira binti Muhammad Ghazali, Amira Rashidah binti Masrurah Aladin, Nur Fatimah Zilah binti Arizan, and Nur Hanisa binti Abu Shah.
I will start with Chapter 1, Background of Study. The 21st century distinguishes itself from early eras in a variety of ways. Social media has nearly become an inevitable part of our daily life. They play an important role in our everyday activities and are a necessary means of survival for certain people. According to Dying Endeavors 2013, social media has become an integral part of student life. The purpose of this study is to identify and investigate factors influencing social media addiction among Uitm and Bandaraya Melaka campus students, because the society now relies on social media to obtain information and to assist students to do their research and assignment. Next is problem statement. People behavior have evolved as a result of technological advancements, and they may now discover real-life items in virtual world. Young people in particular are very interested in social media, which is an outgrowth of internet technology. Interacting in online platform and social media sharing possibilities have made student life easier, but social media addiction have become a concern among young people, produce mental and physical difficulties in long term by utilizing it excessively. Furthermore, based on the studies by Fauzi, addiction to social media is on the rise all around the world. The purpose of Fauzi study is to look into the role of academic achievement on social media addiction among students, and has discovered that students spend the most time online with average 20.9 hours each week. Individuals who spend too much time on social media want to know everything right now, which can lead to virtual tolerance, virtual communication, and virtual difficulties. Next is research questions. The first of research question is: do social media factors contribute to social media addiction among Uitm Bandaraya Melaka campus students? Second, do technological factors contribute to social media addiction among Uitm Bandaraya Melaka campus students? Third, do psychological factors contribute to social media addiction among Uitm Bandaraya Melaka campus students? Next, research objective. The first research objective is to identify the relationship between social factors and social media addiction among Uitm Bandaraya Melaka campus students. Second, to identify the relationship between technological factors and social media addiction among Uitm Bandaraya Melaka campus students. Third, to identify the relationship between psychological factors and social media addiction among Uitm Melaka campus students. I will move on Chapter 2. Literature review. Social media addiction. Social media addiction can be viewed as one form of internet addiction, where individuals exhibit a compulsion to use social media to access. Individuals with social media addiction are often overly concerned about social media and are driven by an uncontrollable urge to log on to and use social media. Furthermore, the term of social media addiction has been coined to describe someone who spends too much time on social media platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and others forms of social media that negatively impact their life. Social factors. According to Peter Betts 2016, things that affect someone's lifestyles are referred to as social factors. Wealth, religion, purchasing habit, education level, family size, and structure and population density are all possible factors. A study on incoming college freshmen found that social support was effective in reducing depression in both those who have healthy self-esteem and those with a poor self-image. Technological factors. According to Walty 2009, technology is a human-created system that employs knowledge and structure to generate things and processes for achieving certain aims. Smartphone, televisions, laptop, computer, machine, and other technologies are examples of technologies. Based on a study by Akakandalawa and Walubita 2017, stated that university students and youth are considered the largest users of these technologies. School and university students are familiar with the use of technology because of the online distance learning classes. Psychological factors. According to the American Psychological Association, psychology is the studies of the mind and behavior. The field encompasses all elements of the human experience, from brain processes to national act, from child growth to care for the elderly. There are several forms of psychology, including cognitive, forensic, social, and developmental psychology. Next, relationship between dependent variables and independent variables. The dependent variables in this research is a factor influencing social media addiction among students, while independent variables in this research are social, technological, and psychological factors. In social factors, there is a link between social factors and social media addiction. If students are involved in online interpersonal relationships, this will lead to high frequency of social media usage, which will increase social media addiction among students. Other than that, as the technological factor increases, students will feel the need to upgrade and stay up to date on current and complex developments to avoid feeling left behind. which will lead them to becoming addicted to social media. Lastly, student stress level can be used to measure this psychological factor. Students who have a high stress level would be addicted to social media.
Now, I will explain on Chapter 3, Methodology. First, research design. This research uses descriptive research and causal research. Descriptive research is used to describe what is happening or what exists, whereas causal research is used to determine whether one or more variables cause or influence the value of other variables. Next, type of investigation in this study is clarification relationship and causal relationship, in which the researchers attempts to gain a better understanding of the concept involved in the research problem and indicates that one concept or variable causes a movement in another concept of variable. For instance, in our research, social factors, technological factors, and physiological factors act as a variable which is to observe the effect of social media addiction among students. Furthermore, extent of research interference. We use minimal interference because the purpose of the study is only to investigate the relationship between factors that influence social media addiction among Uitm students. Moreover, for study setting, we apply a non-contrived or natural environment setting because we are testing respondent experience with the variable with minimal interference. Time horizon. We use a single cross-sectional study will be used in which only a sample of UiTM student is drawn from the target population and information is obtained from the sample only one. Secondly, for this research, we use probability sampling or known as simple random sampling as method. We use this because it allows every student of the population has an equal chance of being selected as a subject for the respondent. Next is data collection. A primary data was used in this study. We are using questionnaire as tools during conducted this research. The data in this study was collected from student Uitm Cawangan Melaka, Kampus Bandaraya Melaka.
So I will present about Chapter 4, which is finding and discussion. First is the demographic profile. This section report on the demographic profile of the respondent involved in the study, which include age, gender, course code, current semester, social media usage, social media ownership, hours spent on social media daily, and frequency using social media in a day. For age, based on the table above, the age respondent who have answered the questionnaire is ranged from 18 to 24 and above years old. 6.2% are aged between 18 to 20 years old, 83.8% which made up most the respondent aged between 21 to 23 years old, lastly 10% which the age between 24 and above. The answer the question based on the table, gender for of the respondent, out of 130 respondent, there were 73.8% female and male at 26.2% respondent that participate in the research study. For the course code based on the table, respondent course code, the highest course code of the UITM KBM that answered the questionnaire is from BA2465. BA246, which consists of 26.9%, followed by BA242, which 23.8%, and the third are from BA243 with 17.7%. 16.9% are from course code HM241, followed by 10% from BA232. The lowest number of the course code that answer the question is from BA240, which is at 4.6%. Next, the current semester, based on the respondent current semester table, the highest number that have answered the questionnaire is from student from semester 5, which 58.5%, followed by the respondent semester 4, 22.3%, stand by semester 3 student with 8.5%. Next, from student from semester 2 with 6.9%, and with 3.1% are from semester 1. Lastly, the lowest respondent are from semester 6 with 0.8%. Based on respondents respond, they all have ever used social media and have a social media account. Next, from the table, respondents hours spent on social media daily, there are 5.4% that spend 1 to 2 hours on social media daily. Besides, 57.7% have spent 3 to 6 hours on social media daily. Lastly, 36.9% have spent more than 7 hours on social media daily. Lastly, for the respondent frequently using social media in a day, 4.6% which use social media 1 to 2 times in a day. 53.1% use the social media 3 to 6 times in a day, which is the majority of it. And the lastly is show that 42.3% use more than 7 times social media in a day. Next, descriptive analysis. Mean is to compute the center tendency of the arithmetic average of the score. To compute the mean, all the values are added up by divided by the number of values. The maximum amount of for social media addiction among students, social factor, technological factor, and psychological factor are at 5, indicating the maximum skill used in the survey of equation under these variables. The minimum amount for social media addiction among students is at 1.4, and the mean is at 3.5138. Social factor has the minimum score with 2.43, and the mean is at 3.9132. Technological factor has has the minimum score with 1.71 and the mean is at 3.5956. Lastly, the psychological factor has the minimum score with 1.86 and the mean is at 3.5648. Standard deviation. Standard deviation is used to measure variability of the square root of the variance, providing an index of variability in the distribution of score. The standard deviation for the variable for social media addiction among student social factor, technological factor, and psychological factor is at 0.74206 and 0.58443, 0.72501, and 0.72514 respectively. In the case of social media addiction among student variables, the standard deviation is 21.12% of the mean, where this variable consider larger score deviation. On the contrary, the social factor is at 14.93% of the mean, indicating the lower than the rest of the variable.
Next is the reliability analysis. The Cron-Batch alpha is 0.849. This shows the internal consistency of Cron-Batch alpha is good and reliable, which the values are above 0.70. Next is correlational analysis. There are positively moderate correlations or substantial relationship and it is significant at the 0.01 level, which dependent variable and social factor at 0.540, social factor with technological factor at 0.601, technological factor with psychological factor at 0.688, and lastly psychological factor with dependent variable at 0.606. Next is multiple regression analysis. The R-square of 0.410 implies that all the dependence variable explain 41% of the variance independent variable. Adjusted R-square penalized the additions of 0.396 units of independence variable to the model. Next, F-test linear model is also valid, which the p-value is significant. For the t-test, the result for social factor and psychological factor is below the 5% significant level, hence explain that social and psychological factor positively related with dependent variable. However, the variable for technological factor is not significant because the p-value for technological factor is above the 5% significant level. For unstandardized beta coefficients, for each 1 unit increase in social, technological, and psychological factors, social media addiction will increase by 0.319, 0.046, and 0.428 units accordingly, with holding other independence variable constant. For standardized beta coefficients, it can be concluded that the most important independent variable would be psychological factor with a beta weight 0.418. The second would be the social factor with a beta weight of 0.251.
Discussion. For the first objective, parameter significant under multiple regressions also presented that the result for social factors is 0.007, which is below the 5% significant level. Therefore, the social factor variable is significant. Hence, explain that social factors are positively related with dependent variables. Second objective, it has a significant relationship at the 0.01 level. However, the parameter significant under multiple regressions shows that the variable for technological factors is not significant, explaining the technological factor is not related to dependent variables. Lastly, parameter significant under multiple regressions also presented that psychological factor has a p-value of 0.001, which is below the 5% significant level. Hence, explain that psychological factors are positively related with dependent variables. Students, in fact, play an essential role in society because they are our country's future leaders. Universities and parents, in addition, the community, play an essential role in monitoring internet use among the students. Management is encouraged to limit the intranet availability via wireless connection within the campus. In reality, universities can hold talks or courses on how to properly use social media. When students use social media correctly, it can have a lot of good consequences. It is appropriate for the Uitm administration to take action in terms of organizing more events for students, such as through core curriculum. Students will have the opportunity to mingle with other students and interact socially as a result of engaging in this activity. Parents must play a role in safeguarding their children against the dangers of social media addictions. Parents are recommended to keep a tight eye on the types of social media related activities that their children do at home. Alternatively, parents can configure parental guidance settings, such as installing automatic filtering software to prevent their children from accessing illicit websites whenever they want to go online.
In conclusion, this study concludes the relationship between social factors, technological factors, and psychological factors and social media addictions among UiTM students, and it can be concluded that all these factors are contributing to social media addictions among UiTM students. Evidence had also been presented based on the independent variables for social, technological, and psychological factors. Thus, additional research is needed to further explain about social media addiction based on other related variables.